Shalom, all praises to Yahweh, by Shema Mashiach Yahweh Shah. This is Teller Nicholas with the Noble House of St. Nicholas. Today, I'm showing y'all the route that the Negroes from the Americas, Caribbean islands, and Europe took from England, because we did not get caught in slavery in Africa. Our brothers that got caught in slavery in Africa went into South America, all right? The Negroes in the Americas and the Caribbean islands, we went into captivity from England, and this is the slave route. And the corporate that put us into slavery from England was Oliver Cromwell. And this is Oliver Cromwell. He took down our last Negro king, King Charles and the Stuarts, and he shipped the noble families off to the Caribbean islands and the Americas, all right? And this is history that they cover up, because they know if we find out about this history, we find out that we are the royals and the nobles of Europe. And he put us in the Liverpool slave trade. Oliver Cromwell was the corporate that put the Negroes from the Americas, Caribbean islands, and Europe into slavery, thus the Liverpool slavery, which we landed in the Caribbean islands and the Americas. And we landed there with our surnames. Our surnames was not given to us by the Caucasian slave master. That's emphatically incorrect. They stole them from us. All right. So now I'm going to get into the Liverpool slave trade, where we came from, which Oliver Cromwell put us through. And this is the Liverpool slave trade. This Liverpool's, all right. Now, this is the Liverpool's, a port city in northwest England, was involved in the transatlantic slave trade. The trade developed in the 18th century, which was the 1700s, as Liverpool slave traders were able to supply fabrics from Manchester to the Caribbean islands at very competitive prices. On December 1st, 1699, the successful tobacco and sugar merchant William Clayton, owner of the ship Liverpool Merchant, sent his ships to Africa, where the Captain William Webster brought a number of enslaved Africans. Well, you know, they was Hebrews. 122 were sold in Barbados, all right? But that's emphatically the history. They lied. They're covering it up, all right? Them Africans was actually Hebrews from England, all right? But this is the history that they cover up, but you just got to look deeper into it, and the history is show, because the so-called Africans that landed in Barbados, they have their surnames. They landed in Barbados with their surnames. So they couldn't have came from Africa with English surnames unless they were shipped to Africa from England, and from during the Bristol slave trade, and during the Liverpool, they got sent to the Barbados. It could have happened. It could have happened a number of ways, but I'm gonna show you the Bristol slave trade. Now, this is the Bristol slave trade, where a port city in southwest England was involved in the transatlantic slave trade. Bristol part in this trade was prominent in the 17th and 18th century, as the city's merchant used their position to gain involvement. It is estimated that over 500 enslaved Hebrew people were traded by Bristol merchants. All right, but you know those enslaved Hebrews were Negroes living in Europe, living in England, and what have you. And they got caught up in the slave trade and was sent into the Americas and the Caribbean islands, all right? Because them as well stood with their surnames, all right? So this is the route of the Liverpool slave trade, which Oliver Cromwell put the Negroes in the Americas, Caribbean islands, and Europe through, all right? It reads, 25,000 went to New England. 50,000 went to North America. 110,000 went to the Caribbean islands. All right. And all you got to do is times all them numbers by 2. You know what I'm saying? And this is the history that they cover up. All right. So we know this history is true because it's history documented that we have Negroes, Hebrews in the Caribbean islands with surnames that always belonged to them, and that they never took the names of their slaveholders. And there's a lot of cases like that which we have, but history and inadequate scholars lied to us and beat the fact that our surnames was given to us by our slave master. That was a doctrine made up to corrupt the minds of the nobles. All right. Um, yeah, man. You know, this is small edification, and I hope that y'all was edified, man. You know, yes, we went into Africa. Yes, our relatives was in Africa and West Africa, in the transatlantic slave ship in West Africa, but a lot of them went to South America. Most of them went to South America. From West Africa, only like 8,000 of us came from West Africa, and that's documented. Not too many of us came from West Africa. We all came from the Liverpool slave trade, which Oliver Cromwell was the corporate of. He was the one that took down our last Negro king, King Charles and the Stuarts. All right? So this is Teller Nicholas with the Noble House of St. Nicholas. I hope the family was edified. Shalom.